Anyway, so we're starting to connect the dots. Things are coming together. Big blocks of the science are starting to, the dots are connecting, the blocks are coming together, starting to come out with practical results. And going back to prove things, as you said, prove some of the assumptions that have been made in the past, going to do practical experiments and demonstrations to show this is the case, sort of thing, is what you're supposed to do. But that's the point. It's a different form of wealth in a way. It's wisdom over time, I think. It's a bit like Teflon and Velcro and, turquoise fluorescent dyes and things like that, We now have Teflon and Velcro and, blue fluorescent, turquoise fluorescent pens and things like that, which weren't around in my original early childhood. They came out in the 90s, came out in the 80s. First you had the yellow, then you had the orange, and then you had a blue, I think, and then you had a dumb sort of red that didn't quite work, and then you had a really horrible dark green, and now I think you've got a nice lime green. They finally fixed that one, and they're slowly getting better because they're working out. As I said, in their world, they're probably working out the rules, the pattern of the rules of how to get the colour they want. Not making a colour and saying, oh, well, we've made this colour now, that's the one we've got. They're now actually designing the chemical reactions to try and get the spectrum of the colour, the part in the spectrum of the colour they want. In other words, they've learnt the theory, and now with the theory they say, well, if we do this, this and this, we should get the colour we actually want, not the colour that we're going to get when we do the reaction. We're going to get that colour that we want, sort of thing. It's a bit like that with CPs now. Fine, the theory's telling you, well, you forget about iron, you want to concentrate on your manganese and your nickel, you want to concentrate on how to fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere in the soil, and so on and so forth. And all the dots start connecting, and now you're going to start actually getting to the stage where you start getting practical results, where you can grow a cephalotus in a season with massive numbers of pictures. You're going to get big trap dianees. Whether we'll get to the 4-inch traps, but as I said before, I wouldn't call myself a CP expert until I've grown a Venus flytrap with 4-inch traps. Why do I say 4-inch traps? Because I've seen plants that were caught by quarantine from the wild. They were 4 months out of the wild. That's what I was told. So in the space of 4 months, they'd been dug out, sent overseas, caught by quarantine, gone into someone's greenhouse, and I happened to see them. And all I had was my hand and distance in bench space across a greenhouse to work out the size of thing. They're basically the size of my 9-year-old child hand with the fingers cut off. Basically that was the size of the trap, sort of thing. So and they were completely green, not a scary red on them, which was unusual, but they had trigger hairs as prominent as cactus spines. You could see the trigger hairs from across the 60 centimetre space of the walkway of the greenhouse. You could actually see them with your naked eye. You didn't have to, they were observable or noticeable. That's how big the traps were. And that's wild plants that have been sent overseas. That's what I'm saying. That's just growing wild plants. That's why I'm saying you should, with a scientific backing and understanding, be able to go beyond nature, tweak all the variables and grow something beyond the 3.25 natural limit. You should be able to go beyond Mother Nature once the scientific method actually kicks in and is built on firm foundation. So that's why I keep saying 4-inch traps, and that's why I keep saying I will not call myself an expert until I have actually grown a Venus flytrap with 4-inch traps. Because the only way I'm going to do that is having it being built on the back end of the scientific method that actually works when it's built on firm foundations. Not this bloody theory that doesn't even stack up to basic experimentation. This idea they eat the insects for the nitrogen, so we spray a little bit of nitrogen on the plants, we should get a massive response, and it never works. Whether you use a organic nitrogen source, inorganic, different types of inorganic or organic things, none of them work. I've tried them all the basic ones I've tried. I haven't filmed some of them on the experiments or on those other cassettes at the lockup. I'll probably eventually end up uploading some of them Some of them are laughable, the experiments, but it's from those humble beginnings is where I stand today. From those humble beginnings, those are some of those outlandish experiments I had to do because we were dealing with basically a grossly false theory. From those humble, almost outlandish experiments, I stand here today with a much better view, a much better theory that hopefully will stack up to experimental testing, which is what it's supposed to do. Other people overseas, I'll have a recipe in the thesis, it'll come out, you'll be able to make up the recipe, you'll be able to either do it in a pot, be able to do it on the ground, you know, follow the basic recipe, wait the appropriate amount of time, you know, see, oh, it's going brown now, okay, it's gone brown, it's time to put the plants in and sit back and watch them grow, basically, and watch them grow bigger, faster, more robust and more colourful than they even do in the wild. And this looked like an interesting spot, so let's start a new clip.